Midday here. If you're new to the channel, I am a social media marketer. I run an agency where I run lead generation funnels, trying to get high ticket service providers, coaches, business owners, trying to get them high ticket clients. I specialize in lead gen. I run paid ads on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, so today's video, we're going to be talking about how to set up the best way to set up lead generation ads in 2025 for Facebook and Instagram. In the previous video, I spoke about how I went through my whole lead gen funnel and how it all kind of works. I went through everything from the ad stage to the retargeting to the CRM to the automations to some of the salesy kind of side and just mostly cover the marketing. So this video will definitely be linked somewhere right now. So definitely feel free to check it out so you have a better understanding. But this, I wanted to go over the ad side today and show you guys how I would set up a lead generation ad for a client. So we start up with a new campaign and we go into obviously a lead campaign. So the way I name my campaigns, I typically will put maybe the name of the business or the first few letters or the abbreviation. So my business is ASO Market, so I might put ASO or ASO Market, ASO Market, and then I'll put leads as a campaign name. Keep it nice and short and simple for the campaign name. We know this is my business and you know it's for leads. Um, you can put, if you're going to use the same objective throughout the whole ad for each ad set, I might put opt-in leads, or I might put lead form or instant form lead, for example. So cool. So the campaign set is very simple, very basic, kind of very consistent. Don't really set a lot here. I typically would go for ad set budget optimization. Not always. I can untick that. So ad set budget optimization gives you control for each ad set, especially in the testing phase and the earlier phases. I like to use ad set budget optimization. Just gives you full control of each ad set and how much is being sent, so you can see spent, so you can see how much is being distributed across. And when everything is, especially when I'm starting off or I'm testing, I like to use the same amount of budget for per ad set. So this allows me to see, cool, all the ad sets spent the same amount. Let's see the results that each one got. Let's see the CTR. Let's see the cost per click, for example. That's all you worry about with lead gen. Just need to worry about the ad set budget optimization and what it is, just lead gen. So now we move on to the ad set level, where this is where the different things are split. So the way I currently have been running things, which is different for every marketer, there's no real right way to do it. There's lots of wrong ways to do it, but there's no one right way to do it. So especially when I'm launching a new campaign, I will set up, I will tell a client, hey, look, I need three pain points from you, or I will give them three pain points after researching, and I'll tell them, cool. So let's say, for example, one of the marketing angles slash pain point would be someone who's trying to be financially independent. So let's say this person is a property coach. They have a property academy that trying to get them to join. I'll say cool. So one of the angles will be a people that are trying to be financially independent or financially free. So I'll say, hey, I need three pain points. One of them is for people trying to be financially free. And what I would get them to do is create, or I would create, depending on what the agreement with the client is. Typically, let's say I'm doing the creation, I'll create four hooks, and I'll create two bodies of that pain point. So, for example, don't quote me on this, just off the top of my head. Hey, if you're trying to be financially free 2025, that's a hook. Um, or I thought I needed this to be financially free, but it turns out this is what I needed. That's just a hook. It's like, don't quote me with these. These are not the greatest hooks. These are just off the top of my head. But that's what I mean is I'll have four hooks and they'll be interchangeable, as well as I have two bodies. So the hook is just the first line of the ad to get the attention, and then the body is the flesh of the ad with the CTA at the end. Um, what some people like to do as well is record different CTAs, because sometimes we mix in DM ads or follow ads as well with lead gen ads. But the CTA typically would be click the link below or fill in the short form for lead gen for instant form opt-in. So what this allows us to create is if we can swap the hooks and the bodies, if you have two bodies on four hooks, four times two, that's essentially eight variations of the same ad. And what I would have here is I would have one ad set and I would have eight eight ads. So I'll probably have the pain point. So when we are this, so let's say that we're talking about financially free people. So we'll put in the ad set name, I would have the campaign name, and then I'll have um finance fine free. I would have that in the ad set name, so I know all these ads within the ad set are about financially free. So again, if you're setting up people to go to your website, or you would, let's say you had an opt-in page. I'll get mine up now. So here's my opt-in. The lead magnet is the free strategy session. People fill in their name, number, email, and it's a website. It's this the URL for it. So I would send people to website because I want people to go to this website. And simply, if you want to put instant form, which some people use, then I would select instant form. Instant form and website have their benefits and disadvantages. With website, what we've noticed after testing is website tends to have slightly higher cost per lead because people have to come off Facebook and Instagram, and people have to load up a website. So it's kind of more expensive to get people to fill in their name, number, email if they have to come off Facebook and Instagram. Whereas instant form they don't. So you tend to have a lower cost per lead. But in return, what this means is that people that tend to go to a website tend to be slightly higher intent than people that just fill in instant form. That's a benefit. So you get slightly less leads, slightly higher cost per lead, but slightly better intent. And on top of that, with website, once someone fills in a name, number, email, they get taken to the VSL page, which is here, instantly. So they don't have to. They've already gone into the website. They fill in their name, number, email, and they're taken straight to the VSL. What this means is a higher percentage of people are going to watch the VSL because people have already loaded up another page, another website. They're already off Facebook and Instagram, and they're taken there straight away without having to press any other buttons. So we tend to get higher people watching the VSL, and in turn, higher people booking a call. This is obviously something you should test. It depends on your offer. It depends on your ads. It depends on everything. The strength of your VSL, the strength of your load of your opt-in page, how fast your opt-in page loads, etc. I recommend always split testing instant form, split testing ads to opt-in, split testing different copies on the landing page, different copies on the opt-in page, especially if your opt-in percentage is low. Opt-in percentage is super important, especially if you're sending people to an opt-in page. Facebook doesn't have a set column for it. You need to create it yourself, but it's very simple. It's just the amount of people that click on the ad compared to the amount of leads you get. I think, and you divide the two. Um, so yeah, so you need to use your discretion and test and find out which one to use. So I tend to send people to opt-in page, and another benefit of using a website opt-in page is that you have control of this data. You can retarget people that land on the opt-in page but don't fill in the form. You can retarget people that spend a certain amount of time on the opt-in page. You have people coming into your website and you have more control of the data. Where with instant form, yeah, you can target people that open the form but don't submit, but you can't target people that for example, at opt page you can target anyone that lands on it or anyone that spends a certain amount of time on it. And I'm sure people that use Google Tag Manager for their analytics, they can get access to that data as well. Whereas with instant form, you're more limited. Not a big difference, but it matters if you are spending. Let's say you're spending a budget of three, four, £500 a day. A little bit of data from each person is massive. So I would typically set up an opt-in page. I would try an opt-in for opt-in page. You have more control. You can change the opt-in. You can maximize results. For example, if you have a low opt-in rate, I did say people are less likely to go to opt-in page, but you can have a really strong opt-in page that sends people that gets more people to fill it in. For example, you have just better control. Wherever instant form you don't. Um, so typically, if you don't have conversions API set up, and if all your leads are worth the same amount, don't worry about value of conversions. If your leads are worth a different amount and you have API CAPI set up, you want to maximize the number of value of conversions because that means Facebook and your CRM is communicating. So Facebook knows these leads are worth more, so we're going to try and get you a higher worth of leads, especially if you have different offers and stuff like that. Probably more for more complicated stuff. Typically, you would stick to this. Like 9 out of 10 times I've used this. Again, some people can get confused because maximizes number of landing page views. For example, if you have a VSO page or you have an opt-in page, you want as many people to go to as possible. But Facebook's AI and algorithms are very good. It will literally send people that are most likely to go to your landing page. But just because they go on the landing page of your VSL doesn't mean that they're going to convert. So it's very dangerous. It's a trick that I used to get, not a trick, but it's something that I used to do before. I used to get confused, and this is before I really got into paid ads when I was first starting. I would have chosen something like this, when that's not what you want. You want maximize number of conversions. Facebook knows these people are most likely to fill in the form, so you get less people going to the landing page, but you get more people converting. And same with these. So pick the true goal that you want. You want more conversions. You don't care about what's the point of getting 1,000 landing page views if one person converts. Whereas if you get 10 landing page views and you get 5 conversions, that's worth way more. Conversion event. So obviously for opt-in page, your pixel has to be set up. The tutorial of pixel will be posted at another date. Conversion event lead. Um, you can optimize for booked calls later on, but I'll cover that in another video. So again, I stick with standard attribution. Facebook make a lot of changes. It's something that's new. It wasn't here a few months ago. I haven't really even looked into it too much, but standard attribution is what I will stick to for now. Now, budget and strategy per ad set, I would say like as a bare minimum, like I don't even advise it, but £30 an ad set is the bare minimum you should be spending if you want results, especially if you have a high ticket service. Anything less than £30 per day, you are just not giving Facebook enough data to work with. I recommend 50. That's the minimum, but obviously not every client can have free ad sets. £50 a day, £150 a day, £150 a day times 330. That's what, 4.5k a month. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's a lot of money. But whereas if you're offering a 5k service, your ad spend is covered in one sale. But you gotta be willing to burn some money first with ads with Facebook ads to give the Pixel and Facebook enough data. Because Facebook's algorithm and AI again is super strong. It's getting better by the day. Um, yeah. So trust in your creatives, trust in your ad sets, put money in, you get the results out faster. So schedule self-explanatory. The only time I would, most of the time, let's say now, if I was to post an ad now and it starts at 1 p.m., that's still fine. You've given Facebook enough time to work with what you have. But part of the issue is if I was setting ads up at 9 p.m. and you give it a £50 budget, let's say it's £50, Facebook's gonna be like, hey, we've got 3 hours to spend £50. Let's spend it ASAP. Let's get it all spent. So Facebook is going to try and spend all your budget that time, and it's just going to get it out to as many people as possible, which I've noticed. So if you are setting it up past 4 p.m., 5 p.m., I would just, especially with a higher budget, I would set it to start the next morning at noon, just for your own sanity. Now, audience, this is very important part. So if you are someone that is invested in lead gen ads, you probably watch people with the likes of Jeremy Haynes. If you're from the UK, Ben Heath, maybe even Ravi Abuvalla. They all advocate for broad targeting. As I said, Facebook's AI, Facebook's algorithm are incredibly sharp now compared to where it was even 1 year ago. Um, the broader the better to an extent. Obviously, still choose your location. For example, I run ads in the United Kingdom, so typically I'd use the United Kingdom. What I used to do as well was just run to England, because I thought, cool, like 9 out of 10 of our sales come from England. Let's just run to England. But again, Facebook's AI is so strong that if it sees 9 out of 10 of your conversions are coming from England, it's going to put your ads out in England. If that makes sense. At the end of the day, Facebook wants you to make money from ads because the more we spend on ads, the more they make. Um, so I would firstly press. They really advise against not using Advantage Plus. They try and put everything in their power to make you use it. When you first up an ad, it will automatically set to Advantage Plus, which it didn't used to. So they've even hidden the button to turn it into not Facebook, not Advantage Plus. So turn off Advantage Plus, switch setup, and have it in normal. Now, some people suggest having the age range as a completely broad and letting Facebook's AI do its thing. If I still say be broad but not too broad, so for typically for a property coach, we would have young adults, 20 to 35. His target market probably is maybe 20 to 30 or even 25 to 30. Those are probably the most serious people. But again, you don't want to limit it too much and keep it as broad as possible. Facebook will get, at the end of the day, you want conversions. Facebook will get you conversions. Both genders. It's up to you. If you're only selling to women, obviously you only do it to women. If you're only selling to men, only do it to men. But if you're noticing 75% of your sales come from men, I would still put it to all genders. As I said, that keep it broad. This is the way things are right now. Um, Facebook, Facebook's AI is strong. If it knows that most of your conversions are men, it will send out to men. Now, exclusions is a really important one, which some people don't realize. Something as simple as adding an exclusion of anyone who submitted your lead form. Some people set up ads and they won't even exclude people that have converted. So our conversion event is to get leads, yeah. So we want to exclude anyone who has become a lead because why are we wasting ad spend to anyone that's already a lead? Now this is not a big deal when you have a lower budget and you're getting lower conversions, but when you have clients spending 200, 300, £400 a day, and let's say they're getting 30, 40, 50 leads in a day, every day that's 50 people that the ad could go out to that it's wasting budget on, and that accumulates. So in a month, if that's 50 times 30, that's what, like 1.5, 1,500 people. Again, if my maths off, correct me if I'm wrong. Um, that's 1,500 people that it's going to be spending money going to that shouldn't need to. So exclude people who have converted. So obviously all languages English placements. I keep this on, try not to touch it unless your ads, unless the visuals of your ad is optimized for, let's say, just reels, then I would just have it on reels. But if the visual of your ad is optimized for all placements, it can go on any placement, then I would have advantage placements on. Okay. So now it leads us to the ad stage. So as I said before, you want to have, I tell people have 4 hooks, 2 bodies, and an ad set will have 4 hooks, 2 bodies. That's 8 ads in total. It's not do or die, just have variations. At the end of the day, like for my ads that I'm running at the moment, I have 4 hooks, 1 body, but I have 2 ads, so I have two different messaging points, 2 different messaging angles. So I have 4 hooks, 1 body, 4 hooks, 1 body. At the end of the day, I only need one of those ads to really like be a winner for me to even be like. You could have the reason why Facebook and I suggest so many different variations is because the more variations you have, the more likely you're going to find a winner. And on top of that, if you have several winners, it allows you to avoid fatigue. This is especially important when you have a client that's spending several £100 a day on ads because fatigue can happen in days. There's been times where we've ran ads and fatigue is literally hit within less than 2 weeks. Especially with higher budget people, it's annoying, but that's your job as the marketer, as someone who's running lead gen ads. Um, you just got to get things out there. You got to see when fatigue is creeping up. You got to have ads ready. That's why you got to test. You got to do all of that. But obviously, I'm gonna share you. I'm gonna share. I'm not gonna share the exact method that I use, and I'm not gonna break down the exact method that I use because the true methods that I use do go further into depth. The people that are paying me, they get to experience the full depth of what I offer in terms of lead generation ads and how to set up campaigns. Because when I'm running lead gen ads, I run 3 to 4 campaigns, all with different objectives. And again, you don't need 3 to 4 campaigns to get good results. You only need one campaign that's set up. I'm giving you guys what you need, but again, like feel free to book a call if you want to find out more about what I do. Feel free to have a look on my social media pages, have a look on my YouTube. But I digress. So what I would do here is, for example, what I like to do is every batch of ads I produce, or every kind of every batch of ads I produce, I put a letter. So let's say ad A1, it'll be ad A1, or I'll put ad A, hook one, body two. So I know this ad is from A batch, the batch A. I know this is hook one and body two. And the same thing, if I was to duplicate, and let's say this next one is hook two, body four, it allows me to quickly see which ad it is, and I will label the ads when I download them and save them to my Google Drive. Now, what I do this all, obviously I have four hooks. Oh, sorry, not body four. That can't be body four. That'll be hook four, body two. Sorry. And for my 8 ads, I'll keep going and have all of them set up. Um, I was set up. I always take off multi-advertiser ads. Don't believe in it. I've never seen it work. Never seen it make a good impact on our ads. Um, Obviously, select the Facebook page and Instagram account that you need. Manually upload single image or video. If obviously if you're using carousels are good for they're very good for retargeting. So what we can have is retargeting for client wins. Retargeting of kind of like static images, just different kind of images that are used in one ad. So you can have several images in one type of ad. You can have videos like video testimonials. I've seen that being done as carousels. But typically for the main campaign, I would have a single video. I'd have the website, which would be the opt-in page, which I'm going to change here. VSL opt-in. Display link is just to neat, tidy things up. What you would have, so I would have asmmarket.co.uk just as a tidier form, and that's what would actually be seen. ASMarket, instead of seeing HTTPS www. It's just asmmarket.co.uk VSL opt-in. Don't like the options are cool. I mean, I have a number attached to my CRM, for example, and it's linked to my phone. So when people call it, it will go to my phone. If my phone doesn't answer, if I'm on D&D, it would go to an AI bot who would answer the call. I prompted it and trained it. You can do this on things like Go High Level. I'm not sure if you can do it on others, but it literally took me, after talking to ChatGPT, it took me like 20 minutes to create something that's worth looking into. The phone number I paid about $2 for. It's just other stuff to look into, make you look as good as possible. So I'll upload the video, which I'll show you guys an example of all of it like uploaded. I would also have my pixel connected, obviously. All of this pixel stuff is especially important for opt-in. It's still important for instant form, because if people are going to your website after, you still want to see how many people are going to the website. You still want to retarget these people, because after they fill in the form, they are prompted to go to your landing page. But not as many people will go. URL parameters, this is important for the CRM that's connected, so that when you have your URL parameters, it will tell your CRM this came from this ad, this is the ad. So let's say a lead comes through, they will see, cool, this lead came from this ad set, this placement, for example. So if I switch to kind of my own my own ads, so as you can see here, ad A2 hook one. Again, there's no set way to do it. Sometimes I do it another way, sometimes I do it a different way. These are instant form ones. I should have. Yeah, these are opt-in. So I have opt-in ones here. If I scroll down. So just ad copy, self-explanatory. You have your ad copy here. There's no right way to do it, but there's several wrong ways to do it. I like to just kind of summarize the video, what I'm talking about. Try not to use too many emojis. As you can see, there's a bit of ChatGPT here. But yeah, ad copy is quite simple, quite self-explanatory. These are all the different placements. You can edit your video to make sure it fits all different placements, etc. Advanced preview is very important, so you can have a look at what it looks like at different placements, because there's been times where I thought it was all good, and then I realized, oh damn, it's been cropped, so I've had to edit the video, get the client to edit the video. But yeah, that's my ad copy there. Headline, self-explanatory as well. Headline, that's what you see on the headline of the ad. I don't know if it'll come up here. Should normally come up there. I'm not sure why it's not come up there this time, but when the ad's uploaded, it would come up there. Let's close that, get rid of that. Description is optional, just an extra line that comes up. So market leads, for example. On some I think it's only on PC. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it comes up on some placements. It's completely optional. If you can see it, it's not even coming up anywhere here, but yeah, ASL market leads, for example, there it would come up there. So description is optional. Not many people use it. You can use it. It's like description. There you go. There's my URL parameters. There's my pixel. And yeah, so things to look out for when you're running ads, I would say I would say testing. Definitely you want to test as much. That's why I would recommend setting up three ad sets and having three different messaging angles in each ad set with four hooks, two bodies. That's eight ads. That's 24 ads in total. £50 each, 50, 50, 50, £150 a day. That will give you enough data to work with. And one of the big changes recently is the fact that we will use broad now. Because what happens with broad targeting is that your creative becomes the targeting. So that's why I said you want to separate the different messaging angles into different ad sets. This is because having different marketing angles or different messages in the same ad set is going to confuse the algorithm. The algorithm uses the ad set. The ad set is kind of like the leader of the ads, and like they're all trying to work together with the ad set. Now, if you have conflicting messages, or not even conflicting, but just different messages within the ads, Facebook's trying to put out Facebook's trying to put Facebook's algorithm. Let's say Facebook's algorithm is trying to align with your ads, and it's gonna be the ad set's gonna be fed data that's going up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right. Whereas if all the messages align with each other in the same ad set, the ad set will go up and down on a neat curve. I hope this makes sense to you. I'm trying to figure out how to put it into words. But having the same messaging in the same ad set helps keep everything smooth. Facebook, I don't know if you understand, but ad set budget optimization means that Facebook sets the budget based on the ad set. So what this means is you don't have any control, which you used to be able to have control on which ad gets how much budget, but you don't have any control nowadays on how much budget goes to which ad. So Facebook's going to put out whichever ad thinks is going to perform the best. But if you've got conflicting messages now, the ad sets and the data on the algorithm is going to be confused onto which one to put out. So again, definitely split up your ads per messaging. Don't The mistake some people make is to put all the winners into the same ad set. So now Facebook's confused because you've got all these ads which are winners hypothetically, but they're all in the same ad set with different messages. So now they flopped because the algorithm is confused. It's getting responses from different people and it just doesn't really know what it's doing at the end of the day. So you have to think of Facebook ads as like almost like you're feeding or prompting a machine. You wanna give it as clear instructions as possible. I want these ads to go out to people that are looking for financial freedom. I want these ads to go out to people that are burnt out from their 9 to 5. I want these ads to go to people that are trying to have a side hustle, for example. So that's where it's done in the ad set. Um, Again, like it's very important to have a look at my previous video going through my lead gen funnel and understand how it all connects because everything here, especially with marketing, it all aligns and it all connects. Testing is a very, 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 very important thing to do. As I said, the people that pay me, they get to see all the different tactics and all the different methods that I use to try and maximize conversions. There's all different types of retargeting methods. As I said, there's no one right way to do it, but there are several wrong ways to do it. Um, yeah, so if you want to find out how I can turn your ad spend into a predictable lead generation machine, book a call. The link will be down on the screen somewhere. It'll be in the description. And check out my other videos to find out more about what I do.